When you're in your late 30s or early 40s and you're dating with the goal of finding a relationship, when does coloring come into the picture? I would say to hold off as long as possible, because
just so we're clear, coloring in this context means sleeping together.
he won't see you as relationship material if you don't show him you value yourself enough to deserve a relationship. It's like going to a parade and getting candy thrown at your feet versus having to earn money to go to a store and pay for it yourself. Make him buy the candy. What are your thoughts?
If you want to be in a relationship, be in a relationship before you let him color. It's the bottom line. You know what he wants. Make sure you stick to what you want.
Because all men want to color, right?
Yeah.
So she needs to know specifically exactly what she wants. And if all she really wants is a relationship, she needs to hold off on that.
Yeah.
So what if he says he wants to color and it's been a while and he hasn't committed then?
Move on. A lot of people out there.
In your 30s and 40s?
Everybody gets to be in their 30s and 40s someday, right?
Well, not everybody. Not the people that die in their...
All right. That's...
Okay, you guys are cute. I didn't know you married Batman.
What does that mean?
He's got a Batman t-shirt on.
Oh, yeah. My youngest actually legit thinks he's the real Batman.
All right, Moff, you brought up that video. Why'd you bring it up?
Well, first I would like to go around and get everybody's thoughts on that and whether they agree with Cindy and her husband or if they disagree. Let's go to Rain first. I don't see Cody on camera. Let's go to Rain.
Oh, you're muted, Rain.
Let's get you unmuted. There you
Sorry. Go. Okay, so my thoughts with that is that, to be honest, I wait at least like 3 dates or like 5 dates until I do coloring with anybody. Or if I'm really feeling them that night, yeah. But yeah.
Have you ever gotten to a point where you really
the rule
like a
on
guy?
That night?
Sorry.
Yeah.
Okay.
Go ahead, Rich.
So you'll break the rule on that night if he's a hot enough dude, right?
Okay, wait. Not just hot enough. I need to see who they are first.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If he's hot enough to you. You know, if you dig his vibe and, you know, everything's in the right place and time, you go for it. All right. Is Cody still there or does she take a break from us? She's muted and there's no camera. So, okay, so we'll come back to Cody. So, Moff, why'd you bring up that video? What's the point of that?
Well, I thought it was really interesting. I mean, especially if we're talking about late 30s, early 40s, I think that's really bad advice. Women in their late 30s, early 40s need all the help they can get. There are, especially if you're going after the top 5% of men and the men that actually want to be in relationships or men that women are chasing after. And you have to assume a woman in her late 30s or early 40s is generally single because of a result of some bad decisions she's made somewhere down the road. Whether that's marrying the wrong guy first, whether that's getting knocked up and having kids out of wedlock, whatever it is, whether that's just chasing career and putting her relationships and potential marriage on the back burner. There are far more likely going to have baggage or unresolved issues in late 30s and 40s, especially as a single woman. So all of that combined with now you're going to make a guy wait till he commits to you to sleep with them, essentially, I think is I couldn't think of worse advice.
So, like, how many dates is that for you, Cindy? Like, what's your advice to gals? Like, is it a certain number of dates?
Well,
is
I
it
just
when you ask for the
know a
commitment?
lot of women that are in that situation, you know, and then they're like alpha widows, you know. Well, I got someone that a long time ago who would sleep with me, but he won't commit to me. Well, that's because he's just with you to sleep with you. He's not, you're not the level of person that he wants to be with, you know. So if you want to vet those people out and you don't want to have to carry that extra baggage because you became an alpha widow, then that's kind of where I'm going with it.
Look at you with the alpha widow, huh? Wow, you've done some research.
I told you I watch a lot of this stuff, and my husband and I, you know, talk about it a lot too.
So what's my take on that, making him wait, though?
Go ahead, Rich. Yeah.
What's my take on making him wait? I don't know if you got to that part yet. Have you ever seen me talk about that? Because I'm in disagreement with you on that. Can you hear me, Cindy?
Yeah.
Okay. So what's my take on it? Have you seen the clip on that?
No, I'm not that far down the rabbit hole.
All right, let me take you down the rabbit hole. Here we go. You ready? Strap on your seatbelts, okay, sweetheart? Here we go. Ready to rock and roll? So let me tell you a story about this gal that I went out with once. You know, something I talk about in my book too. So, you know, I met this gal. She wasn't what I expected. She kind of catfished me. She was probably about 30 pounds heavier than. Yeah. She was probably about 30 pounds heavier than what I was expecting when she showed up, and quite a bit taller. But she was cute. So I figured, what the hell, we're there. Let's have the drink. We sit down and she starts talking about her 8-date rule. Because we're, you know, like, how's dating going for you? You know, what's going on, the standard blah, blah, blah sort of stuff. And then she starts to describe the 8-date rule. I'm like, okay, so what's the 8-date rule? And she's like, well, I'm not going to sleep with a guy until 8 dates because that's my rule. I'm tired of, you know, insert all the reasons why. And I've made this decision now, and it's got to be 8 dates. And I explained to her, well, I don't negotiate when intimacy happens. And I wasn't interested in her anyway, but I just had the conversation. So I said, I don't negotiate when intimacy happens. It's got to be organic. And when you negotiate it, it's not worthwhile. So I don't play games like that. It seems kind of silly. She pauses for a second. She looks at me. She huffs a little bit. And then she gestures towards the bathroom and she goes, let's go in the bathroom and fuck right now. So women will make rules for men that they see as beta males, and they'll break them for guys that they see as alphas. She went from seeing me as a beta male to an alpha like that and wanted to go to the bathroom immediately because
but from her perspective, though, like, if I was giving advice to her, you didn't end up with her, did you?
No.
And that's exactly what I'm talking about. Like, these women are looking
but that
for
wasn't
a long-term
why.
relationship.
That wasn't why.
Well, there's an ending to the story which I haven't told you yet. I only saw her that one time, obviously, because I wasn't interested in her. She wasn't my type. I get a random text message, I don't know, 3-4 months later, and I didn't save her my phone again. You know, I wasn't interested. So I get a number. I'm like, you know, she's like, oh, I got to thank you, you know, for that conversation. It was the best advice you ever gave me. I'm in a great relationship now, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, who's this? And she, you know, reminds me about the conversation we had about the 8-date rule and her gesture into the bathroom. She's like, you're absolutely right. I shouldn't negotiate this stuff. And anytime, it had to be organic, and it did work out for me. So thank you for that. So I think that when you set rules, you know, for guys, or you imply that rules should be set as to when intimacy happens, then you start down the rabbit hole of negotiating, because you certainly didn't do that when you were younger. There was guys that you threw yourself at because you had genuine burning desire for him, and he probably had it for you as well. And you get into it not on the 8th date. Second date, 5th date, I don't know, but not on a certain rule element, because women do break rules for guys all the time if they have to get into it right then and there so they don't lose that opportunity. All women have done it. And the women that say they haven't done it, they're lying. I really hope you guys enjoyed that clip. If you want to watch the full-length podcast, you can find that over here, that clip's from. If you're newer to the channel, make sure you hit subscribe over here, and pin down below in the top comment, you'll find a bunch of useful links to my website, my supplement line, books, and a bunch of other stuff. Have an amazing day. Peace out.